Hey everyone, welcome to week 6 of the college football season. My name is Mike Browning. I'm the host of College Football Road Trip at cfbroadtrip.com. Within the past few days, I just posted about my trip to UCLA and the Rose Bowl, so go and check that out and all the fun things I did while I was in LA. We're getting ready to go on our next trip in just a couple weeks. We'll be traveling to the Charlotte Western Kentucky game in Bowling Green, Kentucky, followed by the Missouri-Kentucky game in Lexington the following week. So get ready to see a lot of fun things there as well. So with that said, last week kind of bounced back with a 7-3 record. So let's go ahead and jump into this week's picks and we'll see what happens. So let's start off with our Friday night game for this week. We have number 18, UCF, traveling to Cincinnati. I was kind of looking forward to this game from the beginning of the year. Cincinnati is supposed to be a much improved team. They looked really good against UCLA, but then not so great against Ohio State. So the big question this week is UCF able to bounce back from their loss to Pitt to beat Cincinnati? And I think the answer is going to be a resounding yes. I think UCF is going to put it all together this week and beat Cincinnati pretty convincingly. So I'm going to pick UCF over Cincinnati on Friday night. Our next couple games are Saturday morning games. We have top 25 matchups. The first one is going to be number 14 Iowa traveling to 19 Michigan. Iowa hasn't had a whole lot of competition this year. They did have the close win against Iowa State, so you might want to question them a little bit. But on the flip side, Michigan was kind of exposed in their large loss to Wisconsin. And so because of that, I'm going to say the momentum is going to be on Iowa's side this week. I think Iowa is going to be able to travel to Michigan and beat the Wolverines. So I'm going to pick Iowa over Michigan in the Big Ten. Our next top 25 matchup is actually a top 10 matchup in the SEC. We have number 7 Auburn traveling to number 10 Florida. Auburn's one of those teams that so far this year I've kind of been against. I think I picked against them, especially against A&M for sure. I picked against Auburn, so they proved me wrong that week. They looked really good again last week. I think they're going to be able to keep that up this week. I think they will travel to Florida and win pretty easily over the Gators. Gators haven't really competed against anybody that tough this year, and so because of that, I think Auburn has the edge. So I'm going to pick Auburn to win at Florida in the SEC top 10 matchup. Let's go over to the Big 12. We have number 11 Texas traveling to West Virginia. West Virginia is one of those teams that I think has probably played a little bit better than most people have expected to go out to a 3-1 record. On the flip side, Texas has a lot of momentum on their side. They did lose to a very good LSU team, but other than that, has looked really good so far this year. And I think they will look good on the road this week as well. So I'm going to pick number 11 Texas to win at West Virginia in the Big 12. Next, let's go to a couple non-Power 5 teams. We have Western Michigan traveling to Toledo in the MAC. This is one of the games that I went to on my road trip last year at Western Michigan, Toledo at Western Michigan. Toledo won that game pretty convincingly, and I think Toledo has a pretty good team again this year. So I think Toledo will be able to win this game at home. So I'm going to pick Toledo to win against Western Michigan at home in MAC play this week. Next, let's go to a Commander's Cup game. We have Air Force traveling to Navy. Both teams have gone off to a pretty good start for this year. Air Force did lose a close one to Boise State a week or two ago. But I think Air Force as a whole has a pretty dominant team, and I think they will be able to win this week at Navy. So I'm going to pick Air Force to win at Navy this week. Let's go back to another Big 12 matchup. We have Baylor traveling to Kansas State. Baylor is a team that's undefeated so far this year, but they really haven't played anybody that tough. They did have a good win against Iowa State this week, though. Kansas State did travel to Oklahoma State and lose last week. So the question is, which one of these two teams is for real? And I don't know if the answer is honestly either one of them, but I think Baylor will be able to go to Kansas State this week and pick up another win and continue their undefeated season for another week. So I'm going to pick Baylor to win at Kansas State. Let's head over to Pac-12 play for our next matchup. We have Arizona traveling to Colorado. In this one, Arizona, Khalil Tate has been out for the past couple weeks. We're not sure if he'll be able to play this week. And so because of that and all that uncertainty, I think that gives Colorado some momentum at home. So this week, I'm going to pick Colorado to win at home over Arizona. Let's go to another top 25 matchup in Big Ten play. Our Saturday night game this week. We have number 25 Michigan State traveling to number 4 Ohio State. I guess the question is, will anybody be able to give in Ohio State any competition this year? They play Penn State in a few weeks. That will probably be a really good game. In the meantime, Michigan State, I don't think is going to give him much competition this week. Ohio State is just too balanced between the offense and the defensive side of the ball. And so because of that, I think Ohio State wins big again this week. So I'm going to pick Ohio State to win at home over Michigan State in the Big Ten. And our final game of this week is another Pac-12 matchup. We have Cal traveling to number 13 Oregon. And Cal, I think, was just exposed in a game at Utah last week. I don't think they're nearly as good as the record showed through the first few weeks of the year. And so because of that, Oregon, although they have the loss to Auburn, should have won that game. Oregon, I think, is just a much better team. Oregon will win this week at home against Cal and Pac-12 after dark action. So those are my picks for this week. We'll see if we can continue our 7-3 or better record this week. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, again, go to my website, check out my reports on Fresno State and UCLA. Enjoy the Week 6 matchups, and we'll talk to you again next week.